Hey everybody, welcome to another video on Pandas series. In this video, we'll be learning how to sort your data frame by columns or by row. So let's get started. So we already are going to use the same code that we have been using throughout the series. We have a sample dictionary with cars, founders, and country as a dictionary. We're going to convert it to a data frame, and here's our data frame with cars, founder, and country as the columns. Now, in order to sort the column, you have to type in df dot. If you're working in Jupyter, you just have to press tab. So it basically lists out all the attributes which are provided by the Pandas lab data frame. So as you can see, there are a bunch of functions or modules which are supported by Pandas, and out of which there are two functions, sort index and sort values, which are supported by the Pandas to sort the data frame by row or by columns. So we are going to use sort values here in order to demonstrate how to sort the data frame by columns. So in that, if you press shift and while keeping hold of shift, press the tab 2 times, then you can see that it basically gives out the doc string for the function, and here you can see the parameters which are essentials for the function, such as by, access, ascending equals true. So ascending equals true is basically the default input that is being supported by sort values function. There is an in place function, in place argument is also being supported by sort values function. So we are going to use default sort values by, and we are going to pass the column name by which we are going to sort the data frame. So let's say we want to sort the data frame by cars column, so you have to pass that, and if you print it out, it is basically sorting the entire data frame in ascending fashion. So we have in the first row we have Benz, in the second row we have Honda, Tesla, and the last we have Toyota. Now it automatically sort your rows for a given column based on ascending order. Now if you want to turn that off, or you want to make it descending, you just have to pass in ascending equals false, and if you look at the output, it is basically sorting out in the descending fashion. Now this is sorting by just one column. What if you want to sort multiple column? Then you can do that as well. You just have to pass in the list of columns that you want to add in order to sort that. So let's say I want to sort by cars and then by founder column. So you have to pass cars and founder. So what it will do is it will basically first sort the entire data frame based on the cars column in descending fashion, and then it's basically sort the entire data frame based on the founders column in descending fashion. Now if you look at the output of it, it has basically sorted out the data in the first row we have Toyota, and the second Tesla, Honda, and then it basically has sorted out the next column, which is founders. So we have the Kishiro Toyota as the first founder, then we have Elon, Shojiro, and Ben. So it always gives priority to the first column that is present over here, and then basically tries to sort all of the duplicate values that are present in the cars column into the ascending order. Now what if you want to sort out each of the columns based on different orders? So let's say you want to sort the cars column in ascending order but founders column in descending order. So you can do that as well by passing a list of boolean values. So you can do that as well by passing a list of boolean values as an argument. So here let's say I want to sort the cars in descending order and your founder in ascending order. So if you do that, it has basically sorted the data in the cars column as in so it does not, it didn't made any changes because the data is like that. So let's say if I want to make that change where I want to sort the cars in the ascending order and the founder in descending order. So if you do that, and then here you go, you have the cars in the ascending order and you have the founders for whatever duplicate values that are present in the cars. It basically sort the founders column in the descending fashion. Now this was about sorting the data based on the columns, based on the rows. There's another function which is supported by Pandas, which is sort index. Now what it does is basically okay, one more thing I wanted to highlight over here is if you look at, there is an in-place argument that is also supported by this function, and the kind of algorithm that is being used to sort, that is of quick sort. You can change to merge sort to I think there's a bubble sort also being supported. So you can look at the doc string of it, and you can see that there is quick sort, merge sort, and heap sort. These are the three kind of sorting algorithms which are supported by sort values function. And if you are working on a larger data frame, then you might want to tweak into each of these different sorting algorithms so that you can get compare the amount of time that basically takes to run or sort the data. So this is one another handy thing, and the trick to know up your sleeve. And now we're going to look at the df.sort index column, sort index function. So what it does is basically it sorts the column wise. Earlier we were sorting based on the rows, now it basically sorts based on the column. So if you pass df.sort index, and if you look at the arguments of it by pressing shift and and 2 times tab, then you can see it has access equals 0, level equals none. So level is basically here for the multi-index or multi-level index based data frames, and we have by default ascending equals true, and then this function also supports in place equals false as an argument. So if you do that, and let's say you want to sort the columns and by axis equal rows, then you can see that it has basically didn't made any changes in particular, because if you look at the original data frame, this is what it is, and it hasn't made any changes in particular now. But if you want to sort your all of the columns based on, let's say, in descending fashion, so if you run this, then basically uh, okay, I think we need to change it to ascending order. So let's look at this. uh, Okay, cool. So I wanted to highlight over here is we are aiming um, uh, at sorting the columns here. So if you do this, then basically the first column is the cars, second column is country, and founder is the last column, because we are sorting in the ascending order. Now if you want to switch it to descending order, then you can do that by passing axis equals columns and sorting all of the columns in the descending fashion. So this is another trick. Now there is another argument that is being supported by the df.sort index, that is na position equal last. So what it does is, if let's say you have uh, null values or nan values, also not a number values, also present in your data frame, so then those rows or columns would be placed according to the na position. Those rows or the values would be placed according to the na position value. So let's say if I before that, let's add something. So in the last video we have already looked at how to add or update data frame values to our data frame. So let's say I want to add another value to our country, and let's make it India. And again, we are going to use ignore index equals true, because we are not going to add all of the columns values over here. Now it has made the change, but it has not made the change to be reflected onto the data frame, so we are going to reassign it. And now if you look at the data frame, we have as the fourth row where the cars and founders are nan, which is for missing values, and country as an India. Now if you run this df.sort index by axis equals columns and ascending equals false, and then na position equals, let's say, first, then if you see the output, it hasn't made any changes, and that is because we are working on the axis of the columns. So now if you want to change it to axis of the rows, then you can do that as well, and if you'll see, the output is basically all of the output, the columns are sorted in the ascending fashion, in the ascending fashion, but now the rows which have nan values, those are basically coming at the first. Now there are a bunch of other options supported by the na position argument, such as the first and last. So by default it is always last, so you can do this as well. So this is all about sorting your rows or columns. And let's say if you are looking just to sort one column only, so you can do that as well. Sort values, it basically sort the specific series, and you need not pass any by argument over here, but you can still pass your ascending argument over here. Either you want to sort it in the increasing order or in decreasing order. Now if you go back to our original movies data set that we are using over here, we have movies dot star rating dot title, star rating, content, genre, duration, and actors list as various columns. And let's say we want to sort out the column star rating. So let's say by star rating, and you want to sort it out in, let's say, in descending fashion. So if you see the output, it has basically sorted the data in the descending fashion. And if you've already sorted the data, but you want to look out what are the top 10 or top 20 values out of this star rating data frame, so you can do that as well. So let's say we have selected star rating as a column, then n largest and n smallest are the couple of functions which are also supported by the pandas library. So let's say I want to see out the top and largest 5. Oops, it gave me the key error, which is because it has no idea of which column I'm talking about, so you need to pass it as double list. Okay, cool. So what you need to pass over here is in the log format, and if you run this, it's still giving error. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. I have been misspelling the column name. So if you do this, then it has basically given out the top 5 star rating values, and you can pass another function to it, or you apply another function which is n smallest 5. Here we go, we have 7.4 as the smallest value in the star rating column, and this was applied on a particular series. You can do this on a bunch of column as well. So if you do that and largest 5, then you need to pass on the columns as well. So here you earlier we were using a particular series to get the top 5 or bottom 5 values out of it, and when you are running it on in the entire data frame, you still need to provide the particular column name that you want to select from the top 5 columns or top or bottom 5 columns, and it will also pull out the rest of the columns corresponding to those rows. So let's say I want to pull out the top 5 from the star rating, and corresponding to that I want to pull out all of the columns as well. So here we have top 5 rows, and we also have the title, content rating, genre, duration, and actress list as all as other columns as well. So this is how you can sort your data frame, and you can use bunch of other functions that I have explained to you in this video. Okay, thank you.